Hey, what is going on, everybody? Thank you so much for showing up. There was a few minutes of trying to figure out how to do this. For those of you who are familiar with the channel, you know that this would be the first time I have done any of the CCP type things. And so trying to get this set up and out there was a little bit of figuring some things out, a little trial and error, but I think we've got it. And I have had, just to make it clear, I am in the CCP, so I have had this knowledge on the Champion Spotlight Bishop's abilities for a little bit here. DLL, who I'm sure you are familiar with, is also on call, and he is just now seeing these abilities for the first time. So I do want to give him a couple minutes to kind of read through them so that he can give his opinions on them. And then, of course, I really want to get your opinions too. I know today was also the 6-star featured crystal that came out. And so I got to say, from just initially looking at it, I'm a little disappointed, but that's my own fault. That's my own fault. I was hoping for Medusa to be in there. I was hoping for maybe Voodoo to be in there. Neither of them are. That being said, there are some absolutely amazing champions on top of the featured 6. The first ones that are standing out to me are Mr. Fantastic, who is incredible. DLL has an amazing video on him. Just, again, check it out. We'll get that linked in the channel here in the chat in a few minutes. And then I like Mojo, but he's not on that level, I do not believe. And then Sorcerer Supreme, who is absolutely incredible. Graviton, thank you so much, dude. We will get to that right now. I just wanted to give a few minutes for people to show up. And like I said, let DL kind of digest what he's reading there, because Bishop is, I don't want to oversell it. But he is exciting, in my opinion. Yeah, why don't we? That way people can pull it up. I'm gonna show it too on the screen, but that way people can kind of go to it too and follow along. Kais, what's up? Too Extreme, how you doing? Dude, Mark, how you doing? And Ash, Astro, and Warrior. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and try to put it on the screen now so that we can all talk about it. Let me find it here. I did it. I'm very proud of myself. For not ruining this. Big Germ, what's up, Vega? I had a question about the giveaway. What is your Insta Twitter? Isn't the same name as your YouTube? No, it is not. It's in the description of that video. It is Vega Playbook on both. It's just Vega Playbook on either one. And just follow on one of the either. Obviously, I'm not doing the drawing right now. I'll do it as soon as the stream is over. And then I'll get that out and I'll put it on the video who won. So we'll get that done today for sure. Pulled 6-star Silver Warrior. What's up, Chuck? Chuck, was that you that had the insane double do? It was you. I thought it was. I recognized the name on the account, and then obviously Chuck. All right, guys. I think you're really going to hear this with Bishop. He is. I'm very, very excited to talk it through with DLL, and then of course you all. What you guys are seeing. We don't have the gameplay, so I think take everything with a grain of salt. But I'm pumped up, right? Okay, I'm sure no one is that interested in hearing me read about Bishop. I think you know who he is in the game. Let's get to his prestige. It's nice, right? That's nice. That's not anything. I don't think anyone's ranking him up as a prestige option, right? This is where I think we're getting kind of into the interesting, right? And DLL, please, you go ahead and interrupt me whenever you're like, hey, wait, let's make sure we talk about this. Is the prowess, I mean, we're already aware of that, right? His ability to do these massive specials. I feel like this regeneration sounds like it might be more easily accessible. We'll get into that a little bit. And then this unblockable. Yeah, he's not just healing like Blade. Is that a good analogy? I think it is. Okay, that is a really good. Sorry, Kai's came in with the super chat. Thank you so much, Kai's. I always appreciate it, man. So let's go through step by step, and then I think we'll do a little bit of an analysis on this. To me, the biggest thing that stood out was the unblockable incinerate. because that's a whole new thing if I remember correctly. Now, I was not a huge bishop player to begin with. I'm more concerned with like what is he now as opposed to where was he. So the strength is energy damage. Bishop loves to fight anyone that tries to get him with energy. Building prowess, melting the opponent away. Okay, we're covered with that. This is going to get very interesting, especially against skill champions, guys. There's, to me, feels a little bit of he's not the same as Human Torch, but you know how like Human Torch against energy damage dealers or mystics? I feel like Bishop is set up to be pretty amazing against energy damage dealing champions and skill champions. So whenever the opponent shrugs off a debuff, Bishop will punish them with a burst of damage. Careful not to bring Kingpin. However, I want to skip down a little bit here in this and get to it. DL, I don't know if you've gotten to this yet. No, it's not synergies. It's what he does. Look at this. When a skill champion... Where is it? Why can't I find it? Yeah. You know, I didn't share my screen with you, so you might be... All right. Well, you know, we don't want to spend waste a bunch of time with me looking through this, but we'll... Thank you. So, like I was saying, guys, against skill champions also receive a passive stun of 1.5 seconds if the debuff was purified was a stun. I mean, to me, that's setting him up to just really destroy a lot of these fairly difficult skill defenders. Oh, you guys can't hear DLL? Yes, you are supposed to be hearing DLL. Gosh, guys, honestly, DLL and I spent like 15 minutes trying to fix my audio. You guys just can't hear him? Is that what we're hearing here? Can anyone hear DLL? Jeez Louise. Sorry, guys. Yeah, wait, Too Extreme was right. So they just can't hear you. Why would they not be able to hear you? No, I have Discord going to the Elgato system through the voice chat. Can you talk real quick? Yeah, it's even like it's registering on the screen that you're talking, like the green bars are moving. So it's something. No, on all the Elgato stuff. So it's the Elgato to OBS. Which there's just I can't imagine how I would figure that out now. Geez, guys, sorry about this. This isn't how it's supposed to work out, as you guys all know. Usually you can hear DL just fine. In fact, the last stream, they could hear you. I could not hear you. There doesn't happen to be an OBS expert in the crowd, does there? Yeah, Vega versus technology. Much like Bishop, I am hindered against technology. There's just no way. Yeah, we'll have to figure this out off stream. DLL, yeah, if you want to stick around, I get it. Okay. All right, so we'll just go ahead and move through this. We'll start and then we'll just come down and then I will let you guys know what DL is talking. This feels a lot like Lost, if anyone remembers Lost, where they would go and talk to, I believe it was Jacob, but there was like only one person who could talk to Jacob, right? If I'm getting the names correct. So DL is like the omnipotent, all-knowing person. I will go and talk to him and I will relay his messages to you. What's up, K-Dog? Simula, what's up, buddy? And PWF. All right, we'll just kind of go through with that. The Sun Purify will destroy, and that's what I'm thinking too, Kravaton. That was exactly what I was thinking. Take your time. So here's the thing, Too Extreme, I think what needs to be done is I need to add a whole new source to get DLL. We can try. Yeah, this is working big. I had a better gaming chair. I guess I could try really quick because I would like for you all to be able to hear DLL. I think that this would be an audio. What do you think? Audio input capture or audio output capture? It would be audio input, right? All right, let's try. Create new audio output capture. Let's try. Discord. I don't know why it would all of a sudden kick you off though. That's the only thing that's making this really kind of odd to me. You know what I'm saying? Wait, hold on. Can you say something again? Okay, I don't want to get too excited, but I think we may have you back here in a second. Try. Can you guys hear him?
Yeah. I was about to start talking to the chat, but I shouldn't do that until I'm sure they can hear me.
You might be really loud, in which case I apologize. Can you guys hear him?
Yeah, if I am too loud, that should be adjustable through Discord, so let me know, guys.
No one's responding. They're like, now we can't hear you.
Yes, cool. Beams his thoughts into our heads.
Yeah, we don't need audio. DLO beams his thoughts. I love it. Oh, you can hear him.
Like that Cyclops guy in Invincible. I don't think that's a spoiler.
Audio. Who knew that voice and audio, that's what it meant? Is he too loud? No one's saying he's too loud. Yes, he's too loud. Bam. You know
Masakre asked, does this buff apply to the Abyss one? It shouldn't.
No, it will not. Yeah, he's fine. Not too loud, not too quiet, just right. And that's why I call him Goldilocks. All right. Now we're cooking with gas. Let's do this. Yeah. Tune in next stream to see how Vega conquers technology again. Can he turn on his computer? All right, let's start all over. Bishop. He is a champion in the game. He is getting a really exciting buff. I am actually very pumped up on it. Energy damage, punishing debuff, shrugging. I think this is a big deal. If you've been with us for a few minutes before the interlude, he is particularly dangerous against skill champions who are going to be shrugging things off. Weakness is tech champions, and then power control. He does need his power in order to throw his specials. You guys have seen enough of my videos. You know, I like champions who either don't need power or they can get around some of those nodes because they can apply a debuff on their own. So this is a weakness of his, but the game is just so complex these days. No one's going to be able to handle every fight, and so that's fine. I'm not overly concerned by this. Let's put it that way. Persistent power meter, and again, DL, just interrupt me. Let's change that. If you're like, no, here's this, you can say something. So, Bisser's mastery over energy and time enables him to enter fight with 100% of the power he finishes his previous fight in the same quest. Now, you'll see how this kind of works out with his Sig ability too. It's going to be interesting. Mr. WTF, Horseman Bishop, yes, this has been coming up. He is going to be potentially quite nutty.
So that's actually one of the first things I looked for, is that before, Bishop actually had, the way he gained prowess was when he was taking energy damage, there was I think it was a 40% chance per tick to gain prowess. Yeah. But now all of his abilities have 100% chance to work unless I'm missing something, which means that the most important part of the Horseman synergy, or the Horseman pre-fight, is wasted on him.
You mean the plus ability accuracy?
Right. And similarly to like the same way that Hyperion does not benefit nearly as much from attack boosts as somebody else, because most of his attack is always going to come from Furies and Cosmic Charges, and so adding like 20% to his base that doesn't affect those doesn't do much to him. The 50% prowess from Apocalypse isn't going to make all of his special attacks hit 50% harder. It's just going to be like 5 extra prowess buffs that don't get consumed. And so basically the Horseman pre-fight's just going to make him like bleed resistant.
That's a really great point, and I think maybe that's what was trying to be explained to some of us. I'm still not totally sure what I'm allowed to say and what I'm not allowed to say, but I think you may have just really put nicely, and it's easier over a chat, right? Like a voice chat. I think you maybe have just kind of put what someone was trying to explain when people were bringing up the Horseman. And then as you'll see, he has the ability to get rid of bleeds anyway. So,
yeah. So what's the point?
So maybe, well, let's keep going here. But that's a good call. I think this is really interesting here, guys. This dev note, and now you can see it. Bishop's special attacks not costing power anymore. It means that if you finish your fight with a big special 2 or big special 1, you'll carry that power up to the next fight. I know that I was like, what? We'll get to it, but there's a point where I think it makes it clear. Oh, it's right above. Bishop's special attacks do not cost power when activated. So this is different than your traditional champion. Instead, after the special ends, then the power will go away. So if you finish off, if you throw this big SP2 and you kill the defender, right? You don't lose the power. The way it's calculated, if I'm explaining that well, DL, I think you get what I'm trying to say. So you finish off.
It's kind of like Terrax, except all at once. There's no field.
Is that how Terrax is?
Oh, Terrax doesn't spend power when he throws.
Yeah. I thought I was thinking of Annihilus for some reason. Okay. Yeah. Very, very good. So all of Bishop's personal power effects increase special attack damage by 10%. As you can see, he can get up to quite a few. So that it's a lot. But I don't believe that has. We'll get to it when we get to it. Always active energy transference. So this is a decent chunk of energy resistance, but this isn't like Guardian at 6200 or something like that. But that's a nice chunk, right? Every 1 second receiving any energy damage, gain 3 passive power. So this is what DLL was talking about and what they were saying is strengths as far as going up against energy damage dealing champions. Absorbing the kinetic energy of blocking or being struck generates 1 stack of prowess. Okay, so I'm seeing some defender problems here. Well-timed blocks gain an additional 6 prowess. So through parrying well-timed blocks, you're going to gain a lot of prowess relatively quickly. From why I'm reading this. All of these abilities grant +2 prowess for skilled champions, -1 versus tech. So you really don't want to use him versus tech. Like you just don't. Or if you're fighting him, champions are going to make a lot of sense.
But you still want to be careful with energy. When I read the original thing at the top, I thought that it was. They say he doesn't gain prowess against tech champions, but that's not actually true. He doesn't gain prowess from being hit, which is the new thing. He's still going to gain prowess basically at the old rate if you shock him or something with a tech champion. So you don't necessarily want to use like Guardian or I would not use Vulture against him. But like Ghost is going to be great.
I know you, but I'm still asking this because I was actually very excited to test out Hulkbuster and Guardian against him. Because
it's going to be a little ugly.
You think it's going to get ugly? Yeah, let's see. I'm curious. And have you had time to read the whole kit?
Yeah, I have at this point.
All right, but I'm still excited to test them out. I usually don't doubt DLL, and I'm not now, but I still want to try it.
Guardian might be able to get away with it, but it's going to be his energy resistance is going to come into play. Yeah, we'll see on Hulkbuster.
All right. So
Mark asks, prowess only affects special damage, correct?
Yes.
And Mr. W2F says it's not wasted because he will counter ability accuracy reduction. I want to clarify, the Horseman pre-fight only affects offensive ability accuracy. So if you're fighting somebody like Domino or a Disorient node, your parries will still be able to fail. Horseman does nothing for that. It's just going to make sure that like his Incinerate will still apply. But that is
Yes.
a decent point, is that it does help. It makes sure that he still hits her as hard. So that's fair.
And Williams pointed out that he got a defender upgrade. I think he did too. I didn't really enjoy fighting him to begin with, but wait till you see what the SP1 also does. I know.
At least there's a way to be immune to it now, right? Like that's credit where credit is due with Kabam. Increasingly these days, they are making it so that like whenever somebody's a really annoying defender, there is someone out there that can deal with them. Like Ma got a little more annoying. Mojo has always been annoying, but more and more people have Spider Ham and now Mr. Negative. So it's going.
That is true. I remember the days of, and I don't want to get too sidetracked on this, but I remember the days of like, I feel like it was Korg, although I think we ended up realizing we had a few counters, but like Korg would come out and you're like, there's no truly natural counter to this.
Yeah. I remember joking about it because we're like, yeah, you can use Dormammu, but
now you're using Dormammu. All right. So tech, not good, skill, amazing. I think everyone understood that. Holding block. Okay, so this is the holding block for 0.5 seconds. Bishop converts one personal prowess into a regeneration buff. DL, this is what you were saying. It is actually a buff, so that's a really good point. It's not like it just provides him healing. Dante, yes, I am. We can talk about that after we get through this. Everyone's had to sit through a little bit of technical hilarity. Each prowess converted also has a chance to purify a bleed debuff. So I don't know if this necessarily makes him Sulis recoil tree masteries friendly, because you're throwing your specials, but then you can heal. And it also, I don't want to overstate this because I haven't really got to play him. I feel like SP2s are going to do a significant amount of damage. So maybe you're not throwing that many specials. I'm very curious to see how this works out.
He might work out well as just like a really good person for blitzing content. I don't know that he's going to compete with Ghost for Legends runs necessarily, but he might. Because if you can get that special damage up enough and you can like parry a couple times at the very beginning, stack up some prowess, and you start with 2 bars of power, throw a massive horseman boosted special 2, and it ends the fight, then you still have it going into the next fight. Ghost still has to build power. Corvus still has to build power. If Bishop ends fights, then he doesn't.
Yeah, and if I remember correctly, though, he does lose his prowess. So let's look for it in here as we're going through. He does lose his prowess when he throws a special.
Right, he would have to parry to build it back up in the next fight. The prowess won't transfer.
No, but I was even thinking of like power back boosts.
So yeah, you'd kind of have to parry again.
Yeah, and you're gaining, what was it, 6? You're gaining 6?
I think it's 7 because it's 1 plus 6.
Yes, thank you. This is why you're good at this stuff. Okay. Always active debuff feedback. Each time the opponent purifies a debuff, the instant receive this energy damage. Skill champions also receive a passive stun lasting. Okay, so this is what we pointed out earlier. I think this is a really big deal. This passive stun, if a debuff purified was a stun.
Yeah, I mean, it makes him Storm Pyramid X against skill champions specifically, and that's helpful.
I didn't ask this, and now I'm regretting it. How is that going to work out versus Cleanse?
It will work because Cleanse is, sorry for everyone because I didn't make this up. Cleanse is a purify in that if you parry Jabari with Storm Pyramid X, then it immediately cleanses the stun debuff, and then Storm inflicts a passive stun. So that will work like this. But Cleanse is not a purify in that Apocalypse can't prevent it. So it is and it isn't.
Okay. Funny those silly skill champions. They thought, okay, so they're having some fun there. Warning. So there's still an overload. Again, I'm not as concerned with where Bishop was. I'm more concerned about where he is. But I do think it's smart to point out that I do believe this is different. So while he has 30 more prowess, or if he's bleeding, so keep that in mind, he overloads and begins consuming his personal prowess one at a time, getting faster the longer he has been overloading.
But there's no damage.
Exactly. So if Bishop is suffering from a bleed, shock, or incinerate, debuff, or passive, each time he consumes a prowess this way, he will also deal damage to his opponent. If I remember correctly, he used to deal it to himself, correct?
Right, so this removes the Doom cheese. Because it used to be that you would just use Doom, and the shocks would be feeding him prowess, and like that is by far the most efficient way to take him down in Abyss.
Yeah.
And now if you try that with Doom, Doom will just evaporate.
But to be clear, my understanding is that he's actually going to stay the same in Abyss. So
yes.
So if you go into Abyss, you'd still be able to do these things. And we referenced this earlier. After each special attack, Bishop will consume his prowess. So this is what I was saying earlier about power back boost and things like that. If Bishop is overloading, go unblockable for the duration of the special attack. I'm not really seeing a negative to going to the overpower. Meaning like, I don't think you need to be as worried about it. If that makes sense?
Yeah. Because the loss speeds up as it goes, but I think that you're probably going to be able to time that, especially if it's like maybe a stun immune node or something, and so you can re-parry and stack a ton of prowess really quickly. Then like it might be worth it, because if you parry every hit in like a 5-hit combo, you just picked up 35 prowess, and so of course you're going to be overloading, but by the time you throw the special, you might still have 60.
I will say I cannot wait to test this guy. Obviously I have access to CCP server now, but on my live account I have a SIG 100 6-star Bishop. I am very excited to test this guy out. I see a lot of fun things happening. As far as like practical uses though, honestly, the thing I'm the most excited about is that debuff, the stun debuff against skill champions. I'm very, very excited about that, even though I have Apocalypse and things like that. So as far as like putting out a massive damage like quickly, like I'm not one who really is in contention for these Legends runs in Act 7, but if I was, I think I'd still probably be like, well, I've got Archangel or even Cable or Ghost. But again, that's a problem of having a lot of amazing champions. I don't think that's a discount to Bishop. There's been a few things in the chat I do want to kind of Mr. Belding, I'm sorry you didn't get the Shang dupe, dude. He's awesome. Hopefully you get a few more chances in there. Did you win the giveaway yet? No. After the stream today at some point, I will get that done and I will get the information out. Dr. Adil, that's what I wanted to make clear though, is no, Abyss Bishop is staying the same. Abyss Bishop is staying the same.
Yeah. On the subject of something that somebody in chat said. Oh, yeah. But somebody was saying, oh, now he's stun immune. No, he's stun immune if he starts the fight with a bar, which means that the only way Bishop is going to be stun immune on defense is if you die to him. So don't. I'm half kidding, of course. But.
Yeah, do not die to him. Don't do it. Corvus timeouts. Although, yeah. We can talk about that another time. Okay, so here we go. Ready for more defense stuff? Special 1, steady release. After this special attack finishes, gain a steady release passive for 10 seconds. While active, every 0.75 seconds. While near the opponent, inflict an incinerate debuff on them. So you're actually going to get a debuff on you. This isn't like Mephisto, right? Like Mephisto just does that damage. It's not a debuff that goes on you.
That's why I said Ghost should still melt him.
Yeah, I think, that's a great point. I get you, because she'll just turn that into Fury? Is that what she does? She turns it into something.
Yeah, but she's actually the only one who can directly counter that, because the other two skill champions that are fully immune to Incinerate, which would be Silver Centurion and Vulture, both inflict Incinerates themselves and feed him.
There's Yes, absolutely. Yes. Again, I do want to kind of every once in a while something comes up in the chat. I mean, I'm enjoying reading the chat anyway. But there's a few things I want to respond to. Chuck, I have not actually done the giveaway yet, so you can still enter. The deadline's just when I do the drawing, and the streams. I'm having a lot of fun with the stream, so I might not actually get to the drawing till later today. Risk Building, I thought the same thing. There's a part of me with the steady release. You can see a little grin on my face. Travis, dude, I'm so glad that was helpful. I really enjoyed making those. DLL was obviously one of the sources on there too. So yeah. All right. Standing near the opponent while status is a great way to juice some extra damage. So he's saying the one thing I would want to point out is you can't. The SP1 will just refresh this. It will not stack it. If anyone was thinking about like multiple SP1s and trying to stack this, it will just refresh it. So I do like I like that as far as someone who's concerned about fighting Bishop.
Yeah, it sounds like his actual rotation for damage would be more like alternating the special 1 than special 2. Throwing in the special 3 if it's a long fight.
Got it. I think so, if I understood you correctly. So this is the SB2. That's been a big source of damage. The Last Chance has a 100% chance to inflict an Incinerate debuff lasting 10 seconds and dealing 70% of the total damage dealt. So maybe the whole power back boost thing I'm bringing up is ridiculous because you're probably killing them with the first SB2 anyway. But it would be nice to get back to the SB2 for the next fight, right?
Yeah. Well, and the special 1... I'm trying to think because one thing that mutants actually have some trouble with is damage caps. Like some of them get by it, like Omega being the obvious example, but an awful lot of them do big special hits. And I think his special 1 might be really effective at getting past that. I just did some quick math, and without any boosts or anything, if you were able to actually activate all of the Incinerates possible, the base damage is about 10,000. And if you throw it with 30 prowess, then you're looking at about almost 17,000 in Incinerate damage.
Really?
Yeah, and obviously, like, you can exceed that with one big special 2 if it crits. But if there's something getting in the way of your big crits, that's a decent source of damage.
Which, I mean, we love about a champion, right? That if this one way does not work, there is this other way. It's like champions that apply bleeds, but if the defenders bleed immune, they get a cruelty or something like that. I think that's really nice. And the other thing, well, DL was talking about that. I wanted to go up and confirm. These stats are for 565. So
that's right.
That's not even
add 20% to that. Yeah. So he can do like at high prowess, especially if we mess with those parries to get it higher and risk overloading. I mean, you could easily be doing like, I don't think 20,000 damage just from Incinerate is all that unrealistic. Hey, J Will.
What's up, J Will? Dante, I'm not sure I understand the question. Let's get to it when we do. You're talking about the SIG. And then I think the other thing to put in mind, I think we're going to have a fun conversation as we talk about some of these synergies and what they could do. You have to keep in mind, though, the champions that you'd be bringing. Jacob, what's up, buddy? All right, so then we've got this SB3, 100% chance to inflict a non-stacking energy vulnerability, reducing energy resistance. That's a nice chunk, right?
Yeah, and I know this may not be something you can fully explain to us, but if you could potentially ask one of the devs if they can clarify how negative resistance works in the diminishing return scale, or maybe that's something that Duckslug or somebody has already done. But if anybody has that and can link it, I'm curious, if you're fighting somebody without energy resistance, what is a reasonable estimate for how much energy vulnerability of 1200 actually magnifies your damage? Welcome, Jacob.
That might be a really fun thing to test.
Yeah.
All the buff champions info are out, right?
I suppose that's an easy thing to test on Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
I love the second line though.
Of the SB3? Which one?
Against enemies at full health, this becomes indefinite. And when you combine that with his signature ability, where you start with steady release active, that's pretty sexy.
I This was a weird one for me. I actually thought about not even covering him because I didn't want it to be like, oh, great, Vega's in the CCP and now every champion's amazing. But like, I don't think he's going. I don't think he's now like the best mutant.
No,
but
definitely not.
I think everyone's gonna enjoy playing him. Not everyone, but I think a lot of people are really gonna have fun playing him. And I think he's gonna make for some really fun YouTube videos. Or videos to show your friends.
That's a safe assumption.
Online. Like, right? This was like, wow, this is a gift. Okay. So now we're finally at the signature ability. Bishop prepares, okay, blah, blah, blah. With 0 bar, special attacks become unblockable. With a stack of 10 or more, or 1 bar while blocking, gain stun immunity, and enemies lose 80% ability accuracy. I have to say, I've never fully understood the value of this.
Well, one immediate thing is that if you start a fight with 1 bar of power, you can safely block full combos from Apocalypse at 4 charges.
Because he'll lose...
Well, because he won't be able to stun you while you're blocking.
Ah, got it. Yeah. Okay, that's a very practical application.
The other thing is if enemies lose 80% ability accuracy, it would only be to a point, but it would kind of be like using Magneto against a hard knock life node, where when he parries, they only have a certain chance to inflict that disorient.
Got it. Okay, so there's uses. Yeah, this is not a nothing, that's for sure. With 2 bars, special attacks have a chance to leave the target incinerated for 70% of the special damage over 10 seconds.
Which is interesting because that, if they bother to put that, then it stacks with what his special 2 says too, right? So you should be able to start with a special 2 that does 2 of those incinerates, right?
Let's have that be a Vega will check in on it thing.
Yeah. I'm also assuming that, because they're not really making clear what scales here with Sig level. My guess is that the ability accuracy, the 70% of special damage, and the 15 seconds for steady release are the 3 things that probably scale with Sig level.
Yeah. Again, that I don't know.
Yeah, I really wish they highlighted that stuff. Yeah. I mean, I appreciate they give us the numbers as opposed to the old where it was just a number in a bracket that didn't mean anything.
Yeah, so then you'd know though that that's what it would change.
But
yeah, that's got to be what it is. Like, it shouldn't be. Yeah, I think that's the reasonable reading of that. And then the synergy bonuses with Psylocke. Opponents are inflicted with a passive petrify for 1 second after they fill a bar of power, reducing power and regeneration, effectiveness by 100%. That sounds like it could be nice for Psylocke, right?
Well, it's actually updated because the first part of that, it was he's had since he came out. It's the second part that's new, that now the petrify is paused during their special attacks. And both of them have pretty long special 1s. And Psylocke's L1 ends with a power drain. And so this actually makes her much more effective at controlling power against champions with passive power gain, because her lock doesn't work on that, which is one of the biggest knocks against her. And it used to be that this synergy was effectively useless. It was like, cool, 1 second. But now it can be 1 second plus the entire duration of her L1, which is going to make it a lot easier to knock opponents back below a bar of power, which then refills her L1 and lets her do it again.
Yeah. Do you
I like this a lot.
Yeah, because you like Psylocke, right?
I am slowly starting to like her more. I still think that she could use a little bit of an update. But between the Apocalypse synergy, even without the Horseman pre-fight, and this update, I'm starting to feel like there are more places for her.
Will you do me a favor and cover the next few synergies? I want to confirm There's something about the synergies I want to confirm before I state it.
I'm guessing that might be what Dante was looking at. Yeah,
it might be. I'm like 90%. I'm 90% sure of the answer because I remember reading it and it was asked. But again, I don't want to give out wrong information on this, of course.
So each of these with Storm, Cyclops, Doctor Strange, and Electro give Bishop 2 prowess and a bar of power, and give the other champion 15% energy resistance. So the question there is probably, does the bar of power stack? So MSD is saying can start every single fight with a special 3. I'd love to get confirmation with that. Is that something that you've tested MSD with where he is now?
This is sorry to interrupt, but I think it's what you're getting at. This is being asked or talked about right now. I heard SP3 is if you die to his SP3, does that mean he's just going to start the next fight with an SP3? I apologize if that's not what you guys are saying.
So that's another important question, because this spotlight, if you go back up to where it describes how his specials work, where is that part? It says Bishop's special attacks not costing power means that if you finish a fight with a special 1 or 2, you'll carry that power over. But the implication of that to me is that it doesn't work with the special 3 because by default that animation always fully finishes. So I think that if he kills you with a special 2, he keeps the special 2, but I don't think he keeps the special 3.
It's funny. It's really funny being on
this. MSD is saying that's incorrect. Okay, this
is really funny being on this end of it, because I want to give you guys the right answer, and it's not like it's highlighted being like, here's the question, here's the answer. Although I do believe this has been addressed.
Yeah, why do they call out the special 1 and the special 2 if it also works for the special 3? Just say he keeps the special that he threw at you. That'd be weird. And yeah, I see that the synergy is updated, because it used to be, if you look at Aunt May, it says 4% or 8% of power. So both the power that he starts with and the energy resistance has been updated. I'm kind of wondering what they were thinking, intentionally giving him a synergy that he can start every fight with 3 bars of power.
Are you saying that as if it was like combined with the SIG, or just that it just is with the?
No, that's not. I'm not talking about the SIG there. I'm just talking about the fact that he keeps his power. Yeah, MSD. That's what I'm thinking, because permanent special 3 sounds bad. I am. Yeah, I say again, it's really like, it's great that they made those synergies better, because you're probably not going to enter most quests with a team of OG Storm, Cyclops, Doctor Strange, Electro, and Bishop. But like, you could.
So my understanding, guys, and let's make sure he goes live and things like that first, okay? So please don't rank him up. Just, this is what it is at the moment, all right? Is that with these synergies, they do indeed stack. But you'd have to bring in, Bishop, Storm, Electro, these champions. So there's supposed to be consideration that there is a bit of a tax, let's say, on it.
But then the counter argument to that is, but you're going to buff Cyclops, OG Storm, and Electro, and hopefully Doctor Strange eventually, right, Kabam?
Maybe that's a can that's been kicked down the road. And they're bringing up that, like, you'd still need to parry, right, to get the prowess going.
Yeah, but you'd start with 8. That's not nothing.
Again, I don't want to oversell. This is like my first CCP thing. I really am aware of the, like, guys, Kabam's amazing. All the champions are great. Like, I'm really trying to avoid that. But he looks powerful. He looks powerful. Again, I'm not seeing, like, I really doubt that on my next rankings video, you'll see me with like, well, the new best mutant is now Bishop. But it looks like he could be a lot of fun. Obviously, doing significant amount of damage.
MSD's completely right. He's going to be borderline broken for auto fight.
He'll be amazing for auto fight stuff in lower events. Maybe that's what he's the new auto fight king. He is a farmer of potions. I'm trying to get an answer on the SIG and the synergies though, because I know that's been addressed. Okay, so here it is, guys. His SIG will go off before the synergies. So you'll have no bonus for the first fight.
Interesting.
Does that make sense?
And then if you spend all of your power, then in your next, that doesn't really make it weaker though, because then if you spend all of your power and start the next fight with 0 bars, you're going to start with a special 3, but you get that.
This seems to be something that they are okay with, right? Like, because it's even in the SIG ability. It's like they seem to be very okay with. He will sometimes start with special 3s.
It sounds like the sweet spot then is bringing 2 of these, having him start with 2 bars of power, and then like if you can finish the previous fight with 0 bars, then in the next one he'll get, based on what you were just saying about that, he'll get the 0 bar bonus, which is that special attacks become unblockable with a stack of 10 or more prowess. He'll start with 4, you parry once, he now has more than 10, and his special 2 is unblockable.
The weird thing to me is no matter how we interpret this, we're like, well, no, it's this way, or no, it's that way. I think the answer always comes back to this guy is going
pretty good.
He's and Campo again, I've seen all these chats, guys, and thank you for I know we're not interacting as much as we usually do. But Campo's making the great point. He's like, he's always had the potential to burst through stuff quickly. And it feels like they're like, yes, he has, and we're going to keep that and maybe make it slightly stronger. And as Campo's saying, even just removing the whole self-damage mechanic was a big deal. Like,
I love this last point from Campo.
They were okay.
They were also okay with Odin stacking.
Yeah, and I think that's something to, and let's keep this in mind, right? And you guys have heard me say this before. This is not new. This is not Vega's in the CCP and now he's a company man. This is their game. This is their game. They will and can change things whenever they want. I think one of the things I'm now, just for a few days against is there's a lot of reasons behind it. And so I think let's go with it. This champion isn't even live in the game yet. Obviously they will be at some point. If something is just absurd, kind of like Campo was saying there, and there was something else that was just ridiculous. Was it like a Nick Fury synergy tuned down? It had been in the game for like a week. And I don't remember which synergy it was, but there was one.
Well, I think you're thinking of the Nick synergy for negative, which actually did not get tuned down. But then there was the Guardian Domino interaction.
No, I'm going back even farther, and that's why I'm having trouble even remembering what it was. I think Nick had one, and they're like, yeah, this is a little overpowered. So just keep that in mind. That's why don't go ranking Bishop off of what you've learned today. And obviously other people did videos too. I always recommend checking out other people's materials on these things. But I think this guy looks insanely fun. I don't know why, but to me, he's not jumping off the page as someone that I'm now like, maybe. Well, I can't think of a mutant that I was really excited to rank up. Well, Strife. I want to rank up Strife. But I don't think Bishop has necessarily jumped ahead of Strife. Because I'm not seeing, I guess, the utilities that I really like. But that doesn't mean Bishop won't be incredible, won't be a ton of fun to play. And it doesn't mean that I'm not wrong or that nodes and interactions won't come out. Like, if you guys were here for this part, I was the one saying, I really don't see the value, though, in this can't be stunned and block and 80% deal. I was like, well, here's 2 right off the top of my head. So keep that in mind. And do we have anything? Oh, let's go over his recommended masteries. So they are actually...
Work and Campo are giving you by the way, it was the restoration kit bit, which I forgot because I didn't have Nick forever.
Cool. That's right. Yeah, I knew there was something. Thank you, Work. Thank you, Work. And thank you, Campo. I appreciate it. And Work, thanks for being in the chat. I didn't even know you were there, buddy. Sorry if you've been there for a bit and haven't said hi. Hooch and Hater, what's up, dude? So they're actually saying double edge. I mean, I think always take these things with a grain of salt, right? Like, not that they're wrong, but just, and then recovery. I'm curious about the heal, because to me, if his heal is powerful, holy smokes. Now, I will admit that when I'm talking about my analysis of him and how excited I have him, or I'm kind of putting him in the way I rank champions, I'm assuming that the healing's not going to be that powerful. But if it is, like, that's a big deal. I think that would be a really big deal. And I'm seeing, like, someone said it earlier, and I apologize for forgetting who it was. But one of the first things I always think of is war. Is this a guy that you can just come in and just nuke a fight or two?
Yeah. Well, they seem to be very okay with that, because with with what they've done with tactics, we have Corvus and Ghost back again.
Yeah, and I mean, it was just last season that I was titling thumbnails "fastest fight ever." So, it's just it's nuke probably isn't the term, but it's melt, right, with Archangel. So I don't know. I'm very excited. I'm excited to test this guy out. I know we will be testing him, whether it's on stream or in videos. I'm not sure yet. I think a lot of that will depend on the day and when his update goes live and things like that, and how that all works out. I'm still familiarizing myself with the process of when we get access to a champion and versus when they go live and all that stuff. But I'm very, very excited to test it.
Quick calculation on the regen.
Yeah.
It looks like if you adjust for a 6-star rank 3 and recovery, it's about 1200, 1300, which is solid. But the problem is that to get all 5 stacks of regen, he has to block for 2 whole seconds. And in most competitive content, if you block for 2 whole seconds, you are likely taking significantly more than 1200 points of damage.
Mm.
So I don't think that it's going to be very realistic for him to just sit there and get all 5 stacks. You're probably going to be like blocking for half a second, getting 1 or 2 most of the time.
Yeah, so this isn't like Claire, where you throw this nice SP2 and you just gained a chunk of healing via just throwing.
You're not going to go from half to full.
and there's potentially a price to pay for this. It's not something that's just happening while you're playing. You have to make space and room for this, right?
Right. Did you get any clarification on does he keep all 3 bars of power if he finishes a fight with a special 3?
That's I have not asked that direct question, but I feel like it has been asked in the chat, and that I think that's the intention, is that he's able to do this.
I thought I saw the chat go a couple different ways, because I thought MSD was saying yes he does, and then he's like maybe not.
I think there's just something about it as a player that makes us think like that can't be right. But I believe, I feel a degree of confidence that that is. Let's put it this way: that is currently my understanding, and that they are okay with this. That they are aware of this and they're okay. That's my understanding. I could be wrong.
Yeah. The other really important thing about this is, does he actually start with 3 bars, or does he very rapidly gain 3 bars? How is it calculated? Because then my next question is, can you prevent yourself from getting hit by infinite special 3s if you throw a read debuff on him?
That question has definitely not been asked.
Okay. I agree with Dante. It's like the dev note seems to really clearly point to the special 3 not carrying over. And I wonder why they put that in if it does.
And you're saying that based off of this the wording under what?
Because if you read under persistent power meter, the dev note under it says if you finish a fight with a special 2 or special 1, you'll carry that over. But why single out the special 1 and 2?
Yeah, like why not add the fact that the third's not?
It's almost at the top.
I don't know. I mean, if I found it, I would still be like, I honestly don't know the answer.
Yeah, Dante, I'm really worried about because that bishop on Prove Yourself. I mean, yeah, there are counters, but that's already one of the worst fights on map 7.
Maybe the special 3 doesn't do that much damage.
I mean, it might not, but I remember it being pretty ugly before. Yeah, see, there's the dev note. Yeah, Zero Frost Ninja, I was trying to remember if that worked with Terrax, but I haven't actually tested it. Was it Barrowman did a read thing against Terrax, I believe, which means there's no way he didn't start with all 3. So that would probably be pretty obvious. If we check that that video and he starts with 2 full bars, then I would guess that Bishop probably starts with all of what he's supposed to have. Cam is saying Bishop would be removed from map 7. I was wondering about that, because they have been calming those down a little bit, and this would send him right back up to being one of the worst.
Okay, so that's Cam being more comfortable, and it's good. He should be, and I'm glad he put that out there. Yes, Cam is correct. I just didn't know if I was allowed to say it or not.
Okay.
But that is definitely my read of what was written. So I'm glad Cam said that. And I think it's the exact node you guys are talking about, right? The Prove Yourself and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
I am looking for this SP3. So this is the thing, is like I can't share this. I wish no, I don't wish, but I can't share this information. So DL, it's really awesome to get your questions in chat. Like, the more eyes on this stuff, the better, because we can ask questions and see interactions that, just 1 or 2 or even 20 or 30 people aren't going to see. Oh, so here's the thing, guys, is to start with the 3 bars of power. You would either need to finish the previous fight by killing the opponent with the SP3, if I'm understanding it correctly, or have that synergy, all those synergies. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Does that answer your question, though, or not really?
Not really, because I would like them to specifically address the dev note. Yeah. I mean, Zero Frost Ninja is talking. I guess you weren't here earlier, but yeah, as far as incinerate immune techs, you have Ghost, Ultron, Vulture, and Silver Centurion, and Ultron isn't actually immune. You need him at Sig 200 to reduce duration by 80%, so he'll still take some damage. And Vulture and Silver Centurion both inflict a ton of energy damage.
K-Dog, exactly. I was like, I don't know. Cam said it? Then yeah, just Cam. If he's wrong, it's Cam's fault. Manaj, what's up, dude? Amazing is always tough, right? Because that's one of those terms. It's relative. I will put it this way: I am excited to play him and test him out, and I am as a person who will also have to fight bishops. I'm hoping that what we find out is the SP3 really just doesn't do that much damage. That it's really there to place that energy vulnerability on you. But again, then you would need to bring in all those synergies. Like, I see the defensive concern, but you would have to die to the SP3, right?
Yes. And that really, I mean,
not that that's not possible. It could happen, but
yeah, my biggest concern is war, because there are nodes where the specials absolutely hurt. Like Afsam is saying, well, maybe his specials aren't meant to deal a lot of damage without prowess. But the thing is that, like, there are war nodes where you will be absolutely shocked at how much damage the defender does. Like, I don't know if any of you, sorry, minor spoiler, Vega, for one of your recent war videos, but your sorcerer fight, remember?
Yeah.
That's not a particularly intense special boosting node. But did you see how much adrenaline triggered when you ate that special 3?
Yeah.
Like, she did, like, almost double your life bar.
Yeah.
I mean, she was probably in her armor or her fury stage, but still, like, I don't know. He worries me a little bit.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to see. I think this is one of those ones where it's like time will tell.
Punishing you for dying is fine. Heimdall already does that. An actual roadblock is less chill.
So Jacob saying, regarding the read question, Tarak still starts with 2 bars, so Bishop will start with all the power.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see, because I'd like to actually see how it looks when Bishop starts the fight. But if he has that, like, if he just starts and it doesn't fill really quickly, then I think that's probably true, and Reed won't be able to turn him off. But Punisher 99 might. It says opponent hits 3 bars of power. Does that trigger if the opponent starts at 3 bars of power?
Dante's got a good point here too with the G99. I mean, there's counters to him. I'm fixed in on the chat right now. I think this is gonna be fun. We can continue talking about it. Why don't we play the game for a few minutes? Actually, we've already gone an hour, haven't we?
Yeah.
What do you why don't we play the game for a little bit? I'd like to hear what the chat thinks, if you guys are excited about him, and I'd really like to hear everybody's 6-star pools, especially as I have none to open right now. So
I'm really disappointed with that crystal.
We'll hang out for a little bit. Are you going to be doing a video on it?
Yeah, I mean, I recorded my my polls, and I'll put it out later. And I mean, I didn't get hosed, but it's just, there are a lot of misses, man.
Actually, yeah, I want to talk about this crystal real quick. And guys, let us know if you guys opened, how to go, and then what are you thinking about Bishop? I'm legitimately excited.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm a little worried about a couple interactions, especially in incursions, like Campo said.
Yeah.
But it seems like a good buff.
Yeah, I might honestly, I think some of the things that were brought up where I either can't or don't, I can't give a straight answer, or I don't know 100%. I think if they're as horrible as they sound like they could be, I think they'll get fixed. It's just a matter of how quickly.
Yeah.
You know? So Jabari's a good champion. Mango's not good. Mr. Negative.
We're definitely going to be seeing more R3s of him on defense, though.
Oh,
I noticed you faced a rank 3 as well, or you faced a 5-star as well.
Yeah,
when I fought him last season, I fought a 5-star too. Yeah,
it was just a 5-star, which is great. Don't get me wrong, but the just is like, it was not a rank 3 6-star. I wasn't even sure. Like, I was like, well, I know not to throw the 5-hit combo. I actually did land a special after he had gone into like his rage mechanic. Like, maybe there's a superior way to play him that I just didn't know, but it felt like I need to control this dude's power. Otherwise, he's going to destroy me. Odin's looking better. I know you like Odin. Kai's did some nice Odin videos. Shang-Chi is amazing, dude. You know?
Yeah. I was really hoping for Jabari. I'll spoil that much that I did not get her.
Black Widow's in there. I'm not opening this for her, though. Angela's in there.
Yeah, there are definitely some good ones.
Black Panther.
But it's like Angela and Black Widow both kind of need high sig.
Yeah. I think Angela's a much better champion too, right?
Yes.
Black Panther. I like Black Panther. I don't know if he's like my hipster, like, where I'm like, I'm tired of all this Black Panther negativity. I like him.
He's at least decent.
I kind of like him. Again, though, for anyone who's just catching this, I'm not saying he's like top shelf champion. I think he's premium. I'm starting to warm up to the idea of maybe one day super premium if you have him at SIG 200. Captain Marvel, Silver Warrior, Deadpool. Those hurt. Any of those would hurt.
Yeah. Deadpool is so bad.
He really is. When you're like, well, at least he's got the synergy, and the synergy is a synergy with another champion that makes your other champions better. That's bad, right? Like he's too removed from why it's good.
Yeah.
Ebony Maw's not bad. Hulk
hurts.
Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah, but he was in 2 features ago. Why on earth is he back?
Because he's fantastic.
That should be like Guardian or Nick or somebody else who hasn't been here as recently. It doesn't make any sense for him to be back.
Was he buffed? How long was he? Did we know he was buffed, or was he buffed when he was last in?
He was updated similar to the time that Vulture was, so I get it. But like, he was just here, guys.
Yeah, and you're not excited about the potential to add SIGs to him. SIG
I am.
Got it.
But it still doesn't make sense. I'd rather have a shot at pulling and duping Guardian, and just give Reed the SIGs.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense to me. Especially if you keep saying Guardian. As long as you sound excited about Guardian, I am supportive.
I need a high sig tech, man.
Yeah, and he is one. Or he could be one. Mojo, who I do like, but again, I think you want a high sig and awakened.
Right, there's so many high sig champions in here. Because that applies to Nova, too.
Yeah, and I was going to try to skip Nova.
Technically, he was buffed.
Things were changed. Sabretooth, Sentinel, Sorcerer Supreme. Okay, so yeah. I don't think I'm going to be opening this crystal as much as I would like the 6-star Odin.
There's a lot of misses.
There's a lot of misses. Although I wouldn't mind SIGs on Sorcerer Supreme, but we'll see what I do. As soon as I say I'm going to do something, I do the opposite. Because I wouldn't mind.
Well, and Storm X is awesome, but her signature ability is useless.
Yeah. So, like, for me, I mean, all I can say is personal, and I'd love to hear what everyone else thinks. I'd be happy with Jabari to get her awakened. I feel like Mangog's got to get buffed at some point. So I would.
He probably just needs a small one.
Yeah, and that would for me would be definitely lipstick on a pig. I would be like, well, he's going to get buffed. Mr. Negative, I wouldn't mind SIGs on him, but I wouldn't be overjoyed. Odin, I'd be happy about. Shang-Chi, I would actually be happy about. I love him. I absolutely love that champion.
Yeah.
Angela, I wouldn't mind getting SIGs on. Black Panther, I would love to get SIG levels on. Mr. Fantastic, I would like to get SIG levels on.
Is
Mojo
your CMM max SIG?
That's a Captain Marvel movie, is it?
It is.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh.
Because they call the other one classic.
Are we sure on this? If someone pulled her, this is... Because you're right. You're right. They do call her...
Campo confirmed it. I'm pretty sure somebody pulled her in Savage Squad somewhere.
Okay. I might be interested in this crystal now. Because there's enough where...
Yes.
These are ones I want SIG levels on. She is definitely one. Mojo would scare me because I've told you all I'd be worried I would use my Awakening Gem on him. And Sorcerer Supreme, I would like to get Storm. I would like to get Storm. I don't think I even have her at all. No, I probably do, just not Awakened. And I hear what you're saying. Captain Marvel movie is in the reel. Hey, they got a 5-star ghost and I'm a bit confused. that in champion info, it's written SP2 is critical hits always. If phase state, but in my case, the first hit of the SP2 is critical, but the other 2 hits are normal. Do you have any theories on this?
Oh, sorry.
That's right. Dada's question about Ghost. Don't you have to...
well, that means the timing wasn't right.
Yeah. It's not just being in the phase. You have to do it... I don't remember what the wording is. Is it like immediately?
Yeah, you have to throw it right at the start of phase.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, exactly that will happen. You'll have the precision from entering phase, so your first hit will be critical. But if the other 2 hits aren't crits, then that means that you were a little bit too slow. It's a timing that just takes a while. I mean, for those of us who've been playing Ghost long enough, we don't even think about it, which is why it can be hard to answer that question.
Yeah, I was
yeah, that's what it is.
My initial thought was actually, is the first hit killing the champion, and so that's why. Isn't that though why Wasp is so nice to have? Is because it's just going to be unblockable, so you can just phase and add special immediately. Like you don't.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I'll be opening features for Shang-Chi, do Captain Marvel movie. National Park, yeah. I mean, you sound like you want the same champions I do, which I think makes sense. Yeah. They're amazing.
It's not like there's nothing in this. There's just a lot of really ugly misses.
There's some ugliness, and it's also champions you already have. Like, it's not one that you're excited about trying to pull. Which
yeah, they're bringing back totally a lot of stuff that we've seen recently.
Yeah.
Like, I get that Black Widow's new, but she is easily the worst of the 6-star champions that hadn't been added to the basic pool yet. Like, she is miles below Medusa, Voodoo, Hyperion, and Magic.
Yeah, I think I may have done this to myself a little bit too. First of all, I want to say, hey, what's up, Snoops?
Oh, hey, Snoops.
I think I got excited. I didn't think Magic, Hype, and Voodoo was coming, and I was pretty sure Magic wasn't, but I was hoping for Medusa or Voodoo. And so I think I may have done that thing that, I know I do, and I think other people do as well sometimes, of, like a deep dive on, WandaVision and be like, oh, it's definitely going to end this way. I'm so excited to see, I don't want to spoil it, the show's so close enough, but I'm so excited for, this amazing character to show up at the end, and then they don't. And it's not that the end wasn't amazing, but it's not how you had hoped it would. So I think I may have done that to myself a little bit.
I'd argue she's worse than Blade, Ghost Rider, Spark, and Scarlet Witch as well, too. Black Widow. So the only champion that's exclusive to 5-star that's worse than her, in my opinion, is Lab Ultron, who obviously wasn't coming.
Yeah, I may have done, because I did a video where I was really hoping to pull her, and that's more just kind of like out of almost like nostalgia. I don't think she's you're talking about just regular Black Widow, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think she's like an amazing champion. I kind of just want her out of, like I said, nostalgia almost.
Yeah. Well, and Lake points out, Iceman is another one who we've seen in Crystals, but I don't think is in the basic yet, and they easily could have thrown him in. Really, Iceman was too powerful, but, Deadpool X-Force is a valuable addition.
He is. Like I said, he's too removed. He's like a... What's a good analogy for him? But he's a vital synergy piece for a lot of people. At some point, I need to fix that. I can't hear the game anymore.
And Super Scroll makes Iron Fist amazing.
There you go. Exactly. So you should be excited to get Iron Fist. All right. Hype is not broken. Are we back on that?
Yeah. I got baited.
It happens.
I'm being as nice, or not as nice. I can be nice about it, but I'm being as calm as I can. I don't recognize your account, but this is something we've discussed a lot before, and I am very firmly convinced that with the other champions that we do have as 6 stars, there's not really a good argument for not bringing in Hyperion. In my opinion, he is the best Cosmic, but I still think that he falls a couple degrees below people like Magneto or Nick or Doom in terms of where they're tuned. And so I think he's perfectly fair.
Lake is a pretty frequent commenter on videos. I don't know if ever a stream attendee, though.
Maybe I missed a comment earlier saying like, because we fairly regularly get people who are happy to catch a stream. I know the timing doesn't work for everyone. Stink says, can we get a DLL freak out? Just join the Incursions streams when I forget that I'm on camera. Sorry about that.
What's up, Stink? It was funny though that people in the chat were like, wait, what? What just happened?
Dante, I did not say Magneto is the best mutant. Don't start that. I just think that he's overtuned.
Clearly, the best mutant is now Bishop. I think we can all agree, right?
Oh yeah.
Doesn't he legitimately look like an absolute blast to play, though?
Yeah, he looks really interesting, and I like that. Like now, his unavoidable damage. Yeah, it's annoying to fight him with non-techs, but you can. Like there are incinerate immunes that don't do a lot of energy damage. I think Void is probably still going to be a pretty good counter to him.
So that was brought up, was how many incinerated immunes don't do energy damage? That actually,
it's not a lot.
Someone did bring it up, a very smart player, and I believe she, if I remember correctly who it was, I think I do, she brought it up, and I was like, that's a really good point. Because I immediately was like, I can't wait to use Guardian and test that out. But to your point, Guardian could go very wrong fast.
Yeah.
So I don't...
Rolk is a good shout-out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rolk is one of the best for that. Ghost we've already covered. I mean, technically Vulture can do it, you just can never Dex. That's not fun. But I mean, if you bring Tigra and you go full power control Vulture and never Dex, he could work.
This is true. Dante, not enough people know the joke. That's an inside joke on the Discord server. No, J-Nick doesn't think Bishop is the best. I know you were calling me J-Nick here. J-Nick is convinced that Diablo will be the best Mystic.
I'm still really excited to see him.
Diablo?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I not that I'm not excited for Ronin. I actually think Ronin might end up being pretty good. But I'm most excited, just general excitement for Bishop. I think Diablo sounds like the most versatile.
I think Diablo will have the biggest impact on the meta. I think all three are probably pretty good buffs.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. That's a great way to put what I was trying to say.
Because there have been a few times recently where people are like, yeah, what is a good answer for that fight other than what we're using in war? And I'm like, Diablo in about a week.
Just give it a week. You know what?
Fantastic.
So I do need to sign off here in a minute, but I realized something today when I was asking people like who they're excited to pull and who they're going for, and Voodoo was an answer. And I know I was very excited about Voodoo. And I realized Voodoo does a lot more than just poison people. I get that. But does the presence of Diablo, the buff Diablo, make you not quite as excited for Voodoo?
Not even a little bit personally, because I don't use Voodoo for massive amounts of poison damage. I use him for some poison damage, but I also love his unique method of power control and his sustainability with his healing. Now, Diablo looks like he'll be decently sustainable, but I don't think his power control is going to be nearly as good as Voodoo's. So he seems kind of like a more... That's not an appropriate stream sentiment for a daytime stream, but he seems like a more aggressive, no-holds-barred Mystic Poison option, as opposed to Voodoo, who's kind of a hybrid between like, yeah, I can output poison damage, but I can also keep you locked at no bars of power.
This is true. This is true. I agree. I'm gonna just ditto that. Who's on call? Blargo, this is DLL. He's frequently on streams with me. I've known him for since literally
we worked it out the other day.
Yeah, and then I always forget. But since season 1 of this game, we met before season 1 of this game. I joined his alliance, and we've played together off and on literally since then. So he's freaking on call. He has a fantastic channel that he just started. It's pinned in the comments section, and I literally recommend it to anyone, but only if you want to get better at this game. If you want to get better at this game, it'll work. If you don't, you don't want to watch it. If you know me, you know I'm kidding, but I'm also being serious. And sorry we didn't get to the chat nearly as much today, guys. I'm going to try to stream on, I think Thursday or Friday, one of those two. And we'll try to get to the chat significantly more. As you guys know, that's one of my favorite parts of streaming. Does anyone else think that Overseer looks like Hulk and Bishop had to get? I kind of do. I think he looks a little bit like me. He's just green. So I think that makes a lot of sense. I like that. And yeah. DL, thanks so much for being on the call, dude. I appreciate you. I know, like I said, I know you didn't get a lot of time, but going through the Bishop abilities and everyone in the chat, great comments, so many smart questions. And when Bishop goes live, hopefully we can get some of those answered too. I did write them down. And we'll see what we can get out of that. So I refuse to get better at this game. I refused for years to stink, and then I decided to try to get better at it, and it's a lot more fun. But I'm with you. I'm with you in spirit. And I love the joke.
What my private lesson teacher and I used to say in high school. It's like, he said, you know, my best students are the ones who figure out that it's more fun to not suck.
This is a high school teacher, not like a kindergarten teacher, I assume, right? That you said?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was a private lesson teacher, so not like my band director.
Got it.
It was just the two of us.
Can you imagine a kindergarten teacher saying that? All right, I gotta go. I love streaming so much, but I have to go. I have other things I need to do. Thank you, everyone. Kais, thank you so much for the donation. I appreciate it. Thank you, everyone in the chat. Man Falcon, love to hear that you were lurking, buddy. It's great to see you. Toffrey, Jacob, everyone, literally everybody. DLL, anything to add, my friend?
No, take care. I look forward to testing